everybody.
Isaiah 43:2. And when thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. And these are the generations of Esau. He is Edom. Esau took wives to himself from the daughters of the Canaanites: Ada, daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibama, daughter of Anah, the son of Zibeon the Hivite, and Bashemath, daughter of Ishmael, sister of Nebathshoth. Ada bore to him Eliphaz, and Bashemath bore Reuel. Aholibama bore Jeush, and Jaalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, born to him in the land of Canaan. Esau took his wives, and his sons, and his daughters, and all the persons of his house, and all the possessions, and all the cattle, and all as much as he acquired, and all as much as he procured in the land of Canaan. And Esau went from the land of Canaan from the face of Jacob his brother, for it was that their possessions were many to live together, and the land of their sojourning was not able to bear them because of the multitude of their possessions. Esau dwelt in the mountain of Seir. Esau, he is Edom. These are the generations of Esau, rather of Edom in the mountain of Seir. These were the names of the sons of Esau: Eliphaz, son of Ada, wife of Esau; Reuel, son of Beshemath, wife of Esau. Born to Eliphaz, sons Teman, Omar, Zepho, Getam, Kenaz. Timnah was a concubine of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, and she bore to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Ada, wife of Esau. And these are the sons of Reuel: Nahath, Zerah, Shema, Mizah. These were the sons of Beshemath, wife of Esau. And these were the sons of Aholibama, daughter of Anah, of the son of Zibeon, wife of Esau. She bore to Esau Jeush, Jaalam, and Korah. And these were the princes of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, firstborn of Esau: Prince Teman, Prince Omar, Prince Zepho, Prince Kenaz, Prince Korah, Prince Gatam, Prince Amalek. These were the princes of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. And these were the sons of Ada. These were the sons of Reuel, sons of Esau: Prince Nahath, Prince Zerah, Prince Shema, Prince Mizah. And these were the sons of princes of Reuel in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Beshemath, wife of Esau. These were the sons of Aholibama, wife of Esau: Prince Jeush, Prince Jaalam, Prince Korah. These were the princes of Aholibama, daughter of Anah, wife of Esau. These were the sons of Esau, and these were their princes. These are the sons of Edom. And these were the sons of Seir, the Horite, the ones dwelling in the land: Lotan, Chobal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishan, Azir, and Dishan. These were the princes of the Horite, of the son of Seir in the land of Edom. There were born sons of Lotan, Hori and Haman, and the sister of Lotan, Timnah. And these were the sons of Shobal: Golam, Manasseh, Ebal, Shepho, Anam. And these were the sons of Zibeon: Ajah and Anah. And this Anah is the one who found the mules in the wilderness, which he was feeding the beasts of burden of Zibeon his father. And these are the sons of Anah: Dishan, and Aholibama was daughter of Anah. These were the sons of Dishan: Hemdan, Eshban, Ithran, and Sharan. And these are the sons of Ezer: were Bilhan, Zaavon, and Akan. And these are the sons of Dishan: Uz and Aran. And these were the princes of Horites: Prince Lotan, Prince Shobal, Prince Zibeon, Prince Nah, Prince Dishan, Prince Ezer, Prince Dishan. And these were the princes of Hori, and their governing in the land of Edom. And these were the kings, the ones reigning in the land of Edom, before the reigning of a king in Israel. And Balak, son of Beor, reigned in Edom. The name of his city, Dinhabah. Baalak died, and there reigned instead of him Jobab, son of Zerah, from Basra. Jobab died, and reigned instead of him Husham from the land of Timnah. And Husham died, and reigned instead of him Hadad, son of Bedad, the one cutting off Midian in the place of Moab. And the name of this city was Getham. And Hadad died, and reigned instead of him. And Semiah from Masrekah. Semiah died, and reigned instead of him Saul from Rehoboth of the place by the river. Saul died, and he reigned instead of him. Baal-Hanan, son of Achbor. Baal-Hanan, son of Achbor, died, and reigned instead of him. Arad, son of Barad, and the name of his city. Fogar, and the name of his wife. Mehetabel, daughter of Matred, son of Mezabad. These are the names of the princes of Esau, and their tribes according to their place, and their regions, and in their nations. Prince Timnah, Prince Avlah, Prince Jethaha, Prince Aholibama, Prince Elah, Prince Penan, Prince Kenaz, Prince Teman, Prince Mibzar, Prince Magdiel, Prince Zaphai. These are the princes of Edom, and the building and the land of their property. This is Esau, father of Edom. And Jacob dwelt in the land of which his father sojourned, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph was 10 and 7 years old, tending the sheep of his father with his brothers, being young among the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, the wives of his father. They brought against Joseph a bad fault to Israel their father. But Jacob loved Joseph beyond all his sons, for he was to him the son of old age, and he made for him a colored garment. His brothers, seeing that the father was fond of him over all of his sons, they detested him, and were not able to speak to him, not one thing peaceable. Jesus, dreaming a dream, reported it to his brothers, and he said to them, "Hear this dream which I dreamed. I imagined you all were binding sheaves in the middle of the plain, and there rose up my sheaf, and it was straight up, and your sheaves moved around, did obeisance to my sheaf." And his brothers said to him, "Do you mean in reigning you will reign over us, or in dominating you will dominate us?" And they added still to detest him because of his dreams and because of his words. He saw another dream, and he described it to his father and to his brothers. And he said, "Behold, I dreamed another dream, as if the sun and the moon and 11 stars did obeisance to me." His father reproached him and said to him, "What is this dream which you dreamed? Is it so indeed, in having come I will come also, and your mother and your brothers to do obeisance to you upon the ground?" And his brothers envied him, but his father kept the saying. His brothers went to graze the sheep of their father in Shechem. Israel said to Joseph, "Did not your brothers tend in Shechem? Come, I will send you to them." And he said to him, "Behold, I am ready." Israel said to him, "And going, see if your brothers are in health, and the sheep, and announce it to me." And he sent him from the valley of Hebron, and he came into Shechem. A man found him wandering in the plain, and the man asked him, saying, "What do you seek?" He said, "I seek my brothers. Report to me where they graze." And the man said to him, "They have departed from here, for I heard them saying, 'Let us go unto Dothan.'" And Joseph went unto his brothers, and found them in Dothan. They spied him far off before his approaching to them, and they acted wickedly to kill him, and said to each to his brother, "Behold, that dreamer comes. Now then, come, let us kill him and toss him into one of the wells, and we shall say a ferocious wild beast devoured him, and we shall see what we will do of his dreams." Reuben, hearing, rescued him from out of their hands, and he said, "Do not strike him as far as his life." Reuben said to them, "You should not shed blood. Put him into one of these wells of the ones in the wilderness, and bear not a hand against him, that he might rescue him from out of their hands, and that he might give him to his father." It came to pass, when Joseph came to his brothers, they took the colored garment off Joseph, the one around him, and taking him, they tossed him into the well. But the well was empty, it did not have water. They sat to eat bread, and looking up with the eyes they saw, behold, journeying Ishmaelites, having come from Gilead, and their camels full of incenses, and balms and balsam. They were going leading down into Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, "What profit if we kill our brother, and hide his blood? Come, let us give him to these Ishmaelites, and hands of ours let them not be upon him. For he is our brother, and he is our flesh." And his brothers hearkened. The men came near, the Midianite merchants, and they drew out and hauled Joseph from out of the well. The Ishmaelites rendered for Joseph 20 pieces of gold, and they led Joseph into Egypt. Reuben returned upon the well, and he did not see Joseph in the well, and he tore his clothes. He turned toward his brothers, and he said, "The boy is not, and I, where shall I go yet?" And taking the garment of Joseph, they slew a kid of the goats, and tainted the garment and the blood. They sent the colored garment, and they carried it to their father, and said, "This we found. Do you recognize if the garment is of your son or not?" And he recognized it, and said, "The garment is of my son. A ferocious wild beast devoured him." A wild beast seized Joseph, and Jacob tore his clothes, and placed sackcloth upon his loin, and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and daughters came together, and they came to comfort him. He did not want to be comforted, saying that "I will go down to my son in mourning into Hades." And his father wept for him. The Midianites gave Joseph into Egypt to Potiphar, the castrator of Pharaoh, the chief. And it came to pass in that time, Judah went from his brothers, and he arrived unto before a certain man of Adullam, whose name was Hiram. Judah saw there a daughter of a Canaanite man, whose name was Shua, and he took her and entered to her. She conceived and bore a son. She called his name Er. She conceived and bore a son still again, and she called his name Onan. And adding, she bore a son, and she called his name Shelah. And she was in Chezib, where she bore them. Judah took a wife from Er, his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And it came to pass, Er, the firstborn of Judah, was wicked before the Lord, so God killed him. Judah said to Onan, enter to the wife of your brother, and ally to her by marriage, and raise up seed to your brother. Onan, knowing that the seed will not be his, and that it came to pass, whenever he entered to his brother's wife, he discharged upon the ground to not give seed to his brother. It appeared wickedly before God, so that he did this, and he put to death also this one. Judah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, you sit as a widow in the house of your father, until Shelah my son becomes older. For he said, lest at any time this one also should die, as also his brothers. Tamar going forth settled in the house of her father. And the days multiplied, and Shua the wife of Judah died. Being comforted, Judah ascended to the shearing of his sheep, himself and Hira his shepherd, the Adullamite, unto Timnath. It was reported to Tamar his daughter-in-law, saying, behold, your father-in-law ascends to Timnath to shear his sheep. Removing the garment of the widowhood from herself, she put around a lightweight covering, and bedecked herself, and sat by the gates of Enaim, which is in the byway of Timnath. For she knew that Shelah was older, but he did not give her to him as wife. Judah, seeing her, assumed her to be a harlot, for she covered up her face, and he recognized her not. He turned aside to her in the way, and he said to her, allow me to enter to you, for he did not know that she is his daughter-in-law. She said, what will you give to me, if you should enter to me? He said, I will send to you a kid of the goats from out of my flock. And she had said, you should give a deposit until you send it. And he said, what deposit shall I give to you? And she said, your ring and the pendant and the rod in your hand. He gave them to her, and he entered to her, and she conceived in the womb from him. Rising up, she went forth, and she removed her lightweight garment from herself, and put on the garments of her widowhood. Judah sent the kids of the goats by the hand of a shepherd, the Adullamite, to deliver by him to the woman the deposit, and he did not find her. He asked the men of the place, where is the harlot, the one being in Enaim upon the way? And they said, there was no harlot here. He returned to Judah, and said, I did not find her. The men, the ones from the place, say there was no harlot there. Judah said, let her have them, but lest at any time we should be ridiculed. I indeed sent this kid, but you have not found her. It came to pass after 3 months, it was announced to Judah, saying, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, fornicated. Behold, she has one of the womb out of harlotry. And Judah said, lead her out, and let her be incinerated. While leading her, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, from the man whom these things are, I have one in the womb. And she said, recognize whose ring and pendant and rod these are. Judah realized and said, Tamar has done justice rather than I, because I did not give her Shelah my son. He did not add any longer to know her. And it came to pass when she was bearing that thus there were twins in her womb. It came to pass in her bearing, the one put forth first a hand, and taking it, the midwife tied upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, this one will come forth prior. As he retracted the hand, straightway came forth his brother. And he said, why was the barrier cut because of you? And she called his name Pharez. After this came forth his brother, and which was upon his hand the scarlet thread, and she called his name Zerah. Joseph was carried down into Egypt, and Potiphar acquired him, the eunuch of Pharaoh, the chief guard, an Egyptian man, from out of the hands of the Ishmaelites, the ones that led him there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he was a man succeeding in things. He was in the house by his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him. Whenever as much as he should do, the Lord prospered the way by his hand. Joseph found favor before his master, and he was well-pleasing to him, and he placed him over his house, and all as much as was his he gave through the hand of Joseph. It came to pass, after placing him over his house, and over all as much as was his, that the Lord blessed the house of the Egyptian on account of Joseph, and he became a blessing for his master in all his possessions in the house, and in his fields. He committed to care all as much as was his into the hand of Joseph, and he did not know the things about his own, not one thing except the bread which he ate. And Joseph was good to the sight, and handsome in appearance exceedingly. It happened after these things, the wife of his master put her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, come to bed with me. But he was not willing, and he said to the wife of his master, if my master does not know on account of me one thing in his house, and all as much as is his he gave into my hands, and not exists in this house one thing outside of me, nor is one thing secretly removed from me besides you on account of you being his wife, then how should I do this wicked thing and sin before God? When he spoke to Joseph day by day, he did not obey her to sleep with her, to be intimate with her. It came to pass on such a day, Joseph entered into the house to do his works, and no one was in the house inside. She drew him by his clothes, saying, "Come with me to bed." And leaving behind his clothes in her hands, he fled and went forth outside. It came to pass, as she saw, that leaving behind his clothes in her hand, he fled and went forth outside. But she called the ones being in the house, and said to them, saying, "See, he brought in to us a Hebrew servant to mock us. He entered to me, saying, 'Come to bed with me.' And I yelled a great voice. In his hearing that my voice was raised, and I yelled, leaving behind his clothes by me, he fled, and he went forth outside. She left the clothes by herself until the master came into his house. She spoke to him concerning these things, saying, 'There entered to me the Hebrew servant, whom you brought in to us to mock me. And he said to me, I will come to bed with you.' But as he heard that I raised my voice, and I yelled, leaving behind his clothes by me, he fled and went forth outside. It happened, as his masters heard the words of his wife, as much as she spoke to him, saying, 'Thus your servant did to him,' that he was enraged with anger. The master, taking Joseph, put him in the fortress, in the place in which the prisoners of the king were held there in the fortress. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he poured down upon him mercy, and he gave to him favor before the chief jailer. The chief jailer gave the jail over to the hand of Joseph, and all the ones being taken away, as many as were in the jail, and all as much as they do there, he was doing. For not was the chief jailer of the jail knowing anything concerning him, not one thing, for all was through the hand of Joseph, because of the reason the Lord being with him. And as much as he did, the Lord prospered the way in his hands. 1 Corinthians 3:11-13. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, or stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. Every day we have an opportunity to build on the foundation we have been given as believers in Jesus Christ. This work of building is not meant for our own benefit, although we do reap our rewards for our labor, but for the benefit of the body of Christ. Every one of us needs other than Christians to help us grow and stay on the right path. This is why 1 Thessalonians 5:11 instructs, "Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also ye do." Yet there is another path some choose to take. Some people have no interest in helping others, focusing only on themselves. Often these people attempt to make themselves feel better by tearing down others. If this approach goes on long enough, the consequences can go from destructive to deadly. Paul warned the Galatians, "For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another." It is easier to tear down others than to build them up, but that is never the course to take. Someone wrote a poem that a conversation with a construction supervisor tearing down a large building called "A Builder or a Wrecker," that ends with these lines: "Am I a builder who works with care, measuring lines by rules and squares? Am I shaping my work to a well-made plan, patiently doing the best I can? Or am I a wrecker who walks to town, content with the labor of tearing down? Oh Lord, let my life and my labor be that which will build for eternity." Look for opportunities today to encourage, help, motivate, and bless others, and it will be a day well. A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner heareth not rebuke. And a man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. The soul of the sluggard desireth and hath nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. A righteous man hateth lying, but a wicked man is loathsome, and cometh to shame. Righteousness keepeth him that is upright in the way, but wickedness overthroweth the sinner. There is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing, and there is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. The ransom of a man's life are his riches, but the poor heareth not rebuke. The light of the righteous rejoiceth, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. Only by pride cometh contention, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when the desire cometh, it is the tree of life. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. The law of the wise is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death, and good understanding giveth favor, but the way of transgressors is hard. So every prudent man dealeth with knowledge, but a fool layeth open his folly.
and a wicked messenger falleth into mischief. But a peaceful ambassador is health. Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuseth instruction, but he that regardeth reproof shall be honored. The desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is abomination to fools to depart from evil. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. Much food is in this tilleth of the poor, but there is that is destroyeth for want of judgment. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. The righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want.